What is good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with some more transfer news, whispers, rumors kind of thing. Quick update, and the long-running saga of Tyler Adams is set to be over at last, and we're going to get some money in. Hey, positive news. But listen, just before I continue, please hit a like on the video. Best way to support the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And of course, drop your comments below. Shout out to John Abbott for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. And Richard Wood, who's become a member of the channel. Thank you for that kind of support. It really does mean the world. And memberships are in the description if you want to join. Ashley here saying, sad to see him go, but at least we'll get some much needed funds, 100%. Karen kind of echoes that and saying, money we get for him will help bringing in some more players through our door. Yeah, that's how it's got to be. And Katrina as well, another one bites the dust. Yeah. The fire sale, fire loan is almost over, people. And as we know, as it's been reported, it looks like those expiry dates have expired now in terms of the contract. So it looks like Leeds are back in the driving seat to a certain extent. But as we've seen with this one with Tyler Adams, you know, I get the feeling that the deal was agreed because we wanted to avoid another JKA. That's just me. I think if the JKA thing hadn't happened, I don't know whether they agree a deal with Bournemouth, but just because we've been through this before where, we've triggered it before the release date. Leeds are saying, maybe you haven't. But I think that they've just met in the middle somewhere, because we're getting a deal over 20, but it's going to be around 24 million plus add-ons. SJW saying, finally get to catch you live. Love the vids, and to finally do it with some good news. Get us some signings, 49ers. We'll see what they've got. We'll see what we got. So yeah, let's say, whoa, don't like the way that this is starting, Chris Kingy, and you're a long-term member. Let me see how this finishes, because the start is not good for you, mate. KG, please talk sense. Not liking this. Adams cannot be replaced for what we're getting for him. He's a modern Billy Bremner. Okay, all right then. We're going in the right direction here, Chris. But people can't face that because he's American. 20 to 23 million is pathetic for him. It is a low fee, Chris. 100% it's a low fee. It's not nowhere near what he's worth. We've just seen Lavia go for 58 million, people, in a 58 million deal. He's literally just gone to Chelsea now. That is all done. Southampton are going to get up to near 60 million for him. Now, I'm not saying Adams is a 60 million player by all means, but 24 million, that is low. But we are at the mercy of relegation release clauses. And also, you've got to think as well, Bournemouth would have had the information from Adams' agent that they would have bid on time. But instead of trying to go through another long drawn process like we have with JKA, we've met somewhere in the middle. And that is why the 24 million fee is agreed, in my opinion, anyway. Bubba saying, KG, your take on Harrison getting stick. The man signed a 5-year deal, unquoted. I want to make history with this club. My opinion, he deserves all the stick. Well, yeah, I've spoke about that on a previous video. Get my full opinion on that. And it's right. In my opinion, it's worse than the Verba and who else has gone? Robin Koch and all these guys. Because Jack was actually here during the savoured promotion period, so he would have a more long-standing affinity with the club. But knowingly, in a bottom 3 situation where we was at a relegation scrap, he knowingly signed that contract with a loan release clause. So he's just as bad as the rest, if not worse. But hey, listen, my opinion's on a previous video. Listen, let's get into it anyway in terms of this, because this has been going on for far too long, in my opinion. But here we are, via Phil Hay and many other outlets, including Fabrizio. Bournemouth closing in on signing Tyler Adams after moving for him at the start of the week. They were confident they'd meet his release clause before his expiry. Transfer now moving to the medical stage. Yeah, he's just adding on there. Bournemouth certainly didn't think the deal was dead, as they've proven now. And Leeds maintain that Adams' clause hadn't been met. Indications from the South Coast are that agree fee is in excess of the release clause, 23 million plus add-ons. Adams ready to sign 5-year contract, still has to pass medical. And you've got to think, unless they do a different kind of medical to Chelsea, that he will certainly pass it, because he passed the Chelsea one, both of them, 2 of them. But yeah, it looks like this one is finally over. And Bill Foley, you know, I've mentioned him many times on this. Oh, Chris here. Please meant to say it, because other content, I'm not bothered about what other content creators say, Chris. Please, this is my channel. I will speak, however I feel here. I don't follow the crowd. But in terms of that, yeah, Bournemouth, it's another move for them, and it's another smart move. This is good. Once he's back and playing, Bournemouth are going to get all the effort, all the energy, all the endeavor that they got from us, from Tyler for us, and it's only going to do them good. He's a good player. He's more than a good player. It's no coincidence for me that Chelsea were after him, but with his current injury, it's probably put off a couple of clubs. But Bournemouth aren't one of them. Quite clearly, they were hard in for him, and yes, they feel like they met the 20 million, but they've said to Leeds, look, we'll pay you a little bit more then, seeing as you feel it's expired, but we want to get this done. And quite clearly as well, just to add to it, Tyler Adams obviously wanted to go as well. He, quite clear through the summer that he sees himself as a Premier League player. But when we're talking about Tyler Adams wanting to leave, he had more than a right to go. It's the ones before him that have exited quite quickly where you think, really? But this one, Tyler Adams and a couple of others, and I mean just a couple of others, I would say are more than good enough to go back to the Premier League, and he deserves it. Quite frankly, he deserves it. So yeah, we have to take the we have to take the money that has been given now. The deal has been agreed. Player wants to go, buying club wants him, and we're obviously willing to sell at that price. And like I say, I do feel like the JKA thing has something to do with it, and they just don't want another long-standing court case that we might just lose again. You know what I mean? Ian saying, will he ask? Who knows if he'll ask for a relegation release clause? Listen, people, I need to make something clear. Relegation release clauses are not that uncommon. They're quite common in terms of when clubs. We had just survived relegation that year, if you remember. I mean, we just about scraped it. We were a Tyrone Mings block from what's his name? The one that went on loan to Man United. What's his name again, man? He's so bad. What is that guy's name? The Dutch guy. It's blanking. Absolutely blanking. But we were a Tyrone Mings block away from starting that game against Brentford in a whole different scenario where we possibly may have not survived. So when players sign for a club that have just survived relegation, they will more than likely ask for a relegation release clause. It's not uncommon. We were not in a position of strength. Whereas when Leicester came down, hardly any of their players would have had relegation release clauses because Leicester were pushing top half year after year. Their relegation was more of a surprise. But in our case, it's more than possible to ask for relegation release clause. Veghorst, that's it, yeah. But the loan clauses, yeah, Bubba. And I just want to forward on. Listen, this was going to be the next bit, but another bit. But Darragh MacAnthony, who and I listened to his podcast when he was talking about this. Whoever put a bleeping loan clause in for relegation needs to be lined up shut and never allowed to be working football again. And that's him talking about Leeds United. Because again, I've told you guys before, never heard of it before. Daniel Farke in his press conference basically said, I've never heard of it before. We must be the only club in Western Europe that does this. And Darragh MacAnthony said so. He said, what? And, he said a lot more on the podcast that obviously cannot be repeated for YouTube. But he was correct. And shout out to Darragh MacAnthony, actually. It's something I keep forgetting. But when I first tried to run a football blog many, many years ago, he actually came through for me and answered the email and answered the questions that I had for the blog. Very good. Very good. He's a very open guy. If you follow him on Twitter, you'll see that as well. Ain't easy being Leedsy. Yeah. Are you kidding, KG? It was impossible for us to go down last year. It certainly was, wasn't it? But yeah, it's all bad in terms of that. But I don't begrudge Tyler Adams to move back to the Prem. He's one that is quite easily got Premier League quality. So no issues there. I do wish the fee was a bit higher, but this is what it is now, and we've got to reinvest. Look, instead of adding players this week, we've lost another one. It's just bad. We need to make sure that this is all. Daniel Farke is insistent that we're going to get a stronger squad by the end of the window. I hope he's correct, because at this point in time, it really doesn't feel like it. Proof will be in the pudding for me. Actions speak louder than words, and we'll see what the 49ers and Daniel Farke cook up by the end of the window. Jake say, anyone calling these players a rat? Have you ever left your job for a better one? Yeah, I don't call them rats. I don't blame them if they've got release clauses. But all I always try and point out is some of the stick that other players have got, certain players haven't got, and it's just a weird thing weird thing to me. Philip saying he was a great player, but not the best, but he's better than what we've got in terms of anything like that, and possibly what we'll bring in, but we'll see. I'm not going to do the whole thing of downplaying him just because he's leaving Leeds and saying, "I was rubbish anyway." You know, one of those. It's not going to happen. You know, he was a consistent, good player for us, apart from a small game span where he wasn't fully, he wasn't at his best. But he was quite easily a standout. But maybe the injury, maybe time, maybe relegation, maybe all the rubbish that's happened since then has made people forget, and that's fine. That's okay. But he wouldn't have had interest from all the clubs that he's had if he was such a bad player. I don't see any interest for Luke Ayling. I don't see it. I don't see it for any of the other players that people think are staying here by choice. As we mentioned in the comments, somebody left a comment about somebody saying about you're only as faithful as eruptions, and it's true. You are, as Chris Rock once said, a man is only as faithful as his options. And it's easy to say, I'm going to stick with it. Oh, I can't wait to get this, to help get this club back up. When you got no interest, what else are you going to say? What else are you going to say? But yeah, Matt saying Tyler is a good player, but Ampadu is better in my opinion. I mean, you can say that, Matt, but at the end of the day, and I like Ethan Ampadu too, and I don't know why people keep comparing the two, because they're two different players. It's as I always say with the kind of example of an attacking midfielder. One can be a passing attacking midfielder, one could be a shooting one. They're both defensive midfielders, but they're two different players. But at the end of the day, Ampadu is the one that's dropped into the Championship while they're injured. Tyler Adams is going up to the Prem. So, you know, it's all well and good saying we got the better player, but we need more. Adams is going to a much better situation with a Bournemouth team that's on the rise. Bill Foley, yet again, I salute him again. What an owner, by the way. But yeah, H saying clock is ticking, time to get things done now. Yeah, 100%. Kurt, I'm dreading this tonight. And listen, I will be here later on for the game. So if you are around and you want to join me, please do, and we can go through it together. Can't wait to see this squad tonight. It's gonna be mad. It's gonna be mad. Let's have a look. Okay, right. Okay, so yeah, let's move on from that. I'm assuming that will be complete soon. Let's move on to another transfer story that has pretty much just come out this morning, and it's to do with our Cody Drameh. Understand Southampton boss Russell Martin has identified long-term target Cody Drameh as a target during the closing weeks of the window. He's prepared to wait until January and even next summer to sign the right back whose deal expires next summer. Guys, we're such a mess right now. We need to get these kind of things sorted out. We really have to get these kind of things sorted out. You know, Cody Drameh, losing him to the Premier League would be one thing, but to lose him to a fellow relegation club would be another. And no, we need to get this kind of stuff sorted. We're just such a mess right now behind the scenes. It looks from the outside anyway. Listen, the 49ers and everyone else that's internal could think that we're under control and everything's good. And maybe they've got 6 players lined up for Monday, Tuesday to announce the signings. But at this point in time, as I speak to you today, it looks like a mess, doesn't it? Daryl here saying, I want Drameh as a starter, always have done, even in the Prem. Yeah, he was worth a run. I made the point last season, and it still stands now. If he had made 7 individual errors, that would have still been one less than Luke Ayling. If he had played like he could only play on one foot, that would still be the same as Rasmus Christensen. So he couldn't have done any worse than the 2 that we had, but instead he got sent out on loan. Just another one reason that adds up to why we got relegated last season. So I hope that's clear. I haven't said because Cody Drameh went out on loan we got relegated. I said it's another reason to add to it. Okay, I know there's some people that would have just heard, oh, Cody Drameh is no reason we got relegated. Oh man. Kevin, where you been, mate? Harrison Defo going. Kevin, I don't know where you've been, man, but he's gone. He's gone, Kevin. Yeah, man, he's moved on loan to Everton, man. You'll see him playing for Everton soon. Ain't easy being Leeds is saying this Drameh situation makes me as mad as a relegation loan clause situation. This is just bad asset management yet again, because at one point when we had him, when he had like 2-3 years left on his deal, if we weren't going to use him the way that we've used him up to this point, we should have sold him to Newcastle, to Leverkusen, to Bayer Leverkusen, or one of those clubs for good money. But as we've done over the past few years, we haven't been good enough in the selling aspect of the club. We haven't been good enough. So now we've got to a point where this player has now got a year left, and we are not in the position of power when it comes to this player because he's got a year left. He does hold the cards. So we haven't done enough. If the managers or the club knew that we were going to keep loaning out Cody Drameh and not use him, we should have sold him for over 10 million like we was being linked with a couple years ago. But instead, we run the risk of now losing him for free. It's a shamble. It's a shamble. But I've said this about many players. Bamford not being cashed in when he was at his highest ebb after scoring 17 Premier League goals, which I knew. I'm going to say I, because you guys didn't know. I knew he was never going to do again. And we didn't do it. Matthias Klick kept him 2-3 years longer than we should have. Goes on a free. We have to, sever his deal and pay him off so he can go to America. We haven't done business the right way, and it shows in the accounts where we've only accumulated 1 million to that point. Obviously, this year's now will show Rafinha and Calvin Phillips money, but it's just been bad business from the previous owners, as Darragh MacAnthony said. Kevin, thanks about the Harrison query. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it, Kevin. Never mind, man. Listen, the world moves quickly, man, and it's okay, Kevin. It's all right, man. But yeah. I just mentioned Klick. Yeah, he should have been sold ages ago. He was quite clear, even in the first year that we came up past the first 3 months of the season, he wasn't up to Premier League football. But people just wait too long, man. People just wait too long. Yeah, quite frankly, yeah, that's true. Daryl here saying if he's good enough for Southampton, he's good enough for us. Play the season 2 years in a row. Proof is in the pudding. Yeah, people always talk about proven Premier League players. I wish proven Championship quality. He's literally done it 2 years in a row and been one of the best performers for both of his teams that he's been to. Whether it's been a mediocre Cardiff team or a team that got promoted to the Premier League last season. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Carl Brown with a super chat. Thank you so much, Carl Brown. And Robert Pennell, super chat. Thank you. Cheers, KG. Love your frankness. Yeah, I always call it how I see it, man. I always call it how I see it. Kevin is saying you're looking forward to the game. I'm not looking forward to the game, but as things always happen with Leeds United, as soon as the game comes up and you see Elland Road, if you feel different, you think all of a sudden, maybe we can do something. But you know what? The proof in the pudding over the last 2 years says we can't do anything. So I'll wait for them to prove me wrong. At this point in time, I've still got it as a 2-1 West Brom win. But I would absolutely love nothing more to be proven wrong than that. Because another thing I've forgotten, man, it's a Friday night game, which means the rest of the weekend is just peak when you lose. So I hope that they give it everything tonight and certainly put out something better than what they showed against Birmingham. Because some of those players I know are just not good enough for this team. They need to prove that they can stick around because they did not give a good account of themselves last week. Not even close. It was pathetic last week. So we'll see what they can do today against a wily West Brom team. Dave saying one thing about Klick, he's not down to he didn't down tool or spit dummy out like this set of losers. No, Dave, you know what? He didn't. But the problem was with Matthias Klick is he didn't have the quality anymore. And I still see it today because obviously, as all ex-Leeds players do that, know they've got love from the fan base. He's doing all the replies to, Nanto and everything else like that. And that's all well and good and cute. But he had the opportunity to stay at this football club and make a difference. But he didn't take it. And this is what people forget. He obviously could have moved last summer, and that was a conversation that him and Jesse had, but he decided to stay and become a, impact off the bench kind of player. And it worked in the first game. Against Wolves, he was terrific. And I was thinking, you know what? I don't expect that from you every week, but if you could give us that every 2-3 games, you could be the difference and make some points up from the bench. And maybe once even Rocker or Adams go out of form, maybe you can even start again. But you know what happened? He didn't do anything else. But it gets seen as Jesse Marsh ruined Matthias Klick. No, Matthias Klick didn't do enough in the games. He didn't do near enough in the games to make an impact. He was slow. He couldn't shoot. His shots were like a baby was taking them, daisy cutters. And when he did actually hit him hard, they went into the crowd. Listen, this is no agenda. Go back to the games and look. Go back to the games and look. It's all there. He did not do enough. And what did he do? He scored 2 goals against Barnsley in the League Cup? Apart from that, he did nothing. It's all well and good being passionate and doing all that kind of stuff. We could do that, people, but it don't mean that we should be playing for Leeds United. And that's just what happened. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't making enough of an impact, and he had to leave. Only he was in control of that. He should have left in the summer. Jake saying he had a clear role defined and got plenty of chances. He had more than enough chances, didn't he? But people are just rewriting it and saying it's all Jesse Marsh. It's not on Jesse Marsh. It's on Mateus Click. But you know what? I've always said on this channel, self-accountability is a hell of a thing for people to have. And he, I don't think he'll ever say I wasn't good enough in the games I came on in. I don't think he'll ever say it. It's easy just to blame Jesse Marsh, isn't it? But it is what it is, people. It is what it is. So yeah, Cody Drameh, we'll look out for that. Something else to look at. Something else I wanted just to touch on is Cameron Archer, because I know a lot of people want him and Joel Perreault, but Cameron Archer, there's big whispers, big chatter actually about him going to Sheffield United. So it seems, I think Villa are looking for a fee around 20 million. So you got to think that might be like 15 with add-ons or something like that. Cameron Archer, he is being looked at very heavily by Sheffield United. I can tell you that, but I don't know if it's going to be Leeds United that he comes to. So just look out for that one. I know a lot of people think Cameron Archer could be the one to make a difference here, but yeah, it seems that Sheffield United might be in the driving seat. That's no ITK stuff. That's just me saying, don't hang your hopes up on Cameron Archer coming to the club. Render saying can't see Archer coming to us at all. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know at this point in time, but Sheffield United are heavy in for him. I can tell you that. Let's have a look. What's everyone saying? Matt saying I can't see us signing any decent players at this rate. I'm not going to rule it out, Matt, and that's purely just from what Daniel Farker said this week. But like I say, words are very empty at this football club and have been over the last few years. We'll see what they do come the end of the transfer window, and then we will absolutely delve into everything then, and we'll talk about it in full once this window's closed. But this window so far for me, as we speak today, has been nothing short of a disaster. It's been even worse than I thought. The loan clauses, didn't see that happening. Some of the key players that I would like to have stayed are either going now or are on strike. It's been a nightmare so far. And the players that I just knew we would never budge because no one cares about them or can afford them at the wages they're on at Leeds United are going to be stuck here until they freaking retire, man. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. We're in a bad spot right now, but yeah. And that's all we can do. That's all we can do in terms of that blinky fish. Surely now we pull the trigger and bring some players in. We've got to get movement in this weekend, people. I mean, we should have had movement in July, but now we're desperate now. And the worst thing about that as well, selling clubs will know we're desperate. They will see. They will look at that team sheet that we had against Birmingham and say, "Oh, yeah, they need this guy." And that's it, Matt. I'm with you. Need actions, brother. Words mean nothing. Absolutely. But yeah, listen, people, and just one more. Now, if you remember this player, let me just make sure I haven't been messaged. Yeah. Anwar El Ghazi. Okay. If you remember him, used to play for Villa, had a very unsuccessful loan to Everton. Who doesn't? By the way, Everton are heavy in for Che Adams. I told you already, Everton have a type when it comes to player. They don't sign crap players, but they sign just about okay players. And it seems like they're doing it again. It seems like they're going with Che Adams. And that, by the way, has a little rumble effect because I think Southampton might look at Joel Perreault because of that. So look out for that as well. But yeah, Anwar El Ghazi. He's not being linked with Leeds. So let me just put that out there from the outset. But don't be surprised if you see a link or movement for El Ghazi to Leeds or a club like that, because PSV and Anwar El Ghazi are looking to, sever ties with each other, and he's more than receptive to move. So he will be offered to a few clubs around who can give him the best deal or the best prospects of playing. And this is a name. This is a name to look out for. So Anwar El Ghazi of PSV scored 8 goals in the Eredivisie last season. 28 years old. I thought he was older than that when I heard about him. I thought, what? El Ghazi? Are you sure? Isn't he like 34, 35? But it's just that he's been playing forever. But yeah, just look out for Anwar or El Ghazi to Leeds if it does happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm not saying that it is going to happen. Please let me make this clear. But I'm just putting it out there that El Ghazi could be someone that Leeds United could be looking that may sign. I mean, what is this? You know what? Let me just say with comments like this, David Lunn here, ha ha, blocking my comments. You make me laugh, KG. Let me ask you, David, how old are you, man, to be putting a comment like that? You've got to be in your teens, yeah, because you can't be a grown man putting these kind of comments. I clearly I haven't blocked you as well because I'm looking at you right now. How old are you, or is there something missing in your life where you need to put something like that? It reflects more on you than it does me. I promise you, David. Please touch grass. Go out somewhere. Get a Nando's something. But to put this in a YouTuber's comments, it says more about you. Okay, chill, calma. All right, tranquilo. Lord have mercy. Honestly, I mean, you guys, over the last couple of months, I've got to say some of the comments. By the way, the support always outweighs it, and that's why I don't really bring it up. But some of the comments you get, Lord, you'd think that these people have got nothing else to do in their lives. This is literally YouTube, where you click on the video to watch it. Yeah, you literally you not me. I don't force you to watch it. It's not X or Twitter where you see other people's tweets that you have no business watch. You've clicked on it. Chill. Lord have mercy. What? Nah. What are you saying? Oh man, it's just chill out, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lee, this is what I say. You type them, David, and you didn't just think them. This is what I say. Like, you literally have to type something. You in your head, you're thinking this is a good idea. This will be funny, or this will, like, what's wrong with people? Someone saying he's 64. Lord have mercy. My goodness. I don't like to bring it up because I know everyone's different, and I know people go through different things, but it's as a content creator that gets loads of messages a day, it's just annoying, man. It is just so annoying. Neil saying, KG, let's face it, you'll get all sorts, I'm afraid. It just makes you laugh. Yeah, I mean, some of it's funny to me, but I just don't get people's psyche, man. It's just weird to me. Perritt House saying with a super sticker, thank you very much. And Carl saying, KG, how come we haven't used the low market? No idea, Carl. No idea. Just seen Leicester get Cassadine from Chelsea on loan. That would have been superb loan, and we haven't used it yet. We'll see what happens. We literally we will see. That's all we can do. Time is running out, so we got no choice but to see. Ain't easy being Leedsy. This fan base sometimes just make me shake my head. Chin up, KG. We appreciate what you do. Yeah, listen. Let me make this. Let me get this straight. There is much more love than there is annoying people. Let me just make that very, very clear. But it's just something where I just don't get. It's something where I have trouble understanding. I don't really want to understand where these people are coming from either. You've got to type these things out and then press send. Like, it's just mad. It's all mad. And there is always that Dave needs to start his own channel. It's always there, free. Go and do it. If you can build an audience, go ahead and do it. But yeah, listen, people. Enough about that. I love more than you. Okay, I love more of you, and that's a fact. All right, most of you are great. Let's get that straight. But yeah, Anwar Anwar El Ghazi. Let's keep a lookout for that one. All right. But yeah, listen, people, that will be it for the show. Obviously, we're going to be back later on for the game, an actual football game, which we keep forgetting is actually happening. They seem to be secondary right now, the games, which it shouldn't be. You know, this is our third game. We need to win. Need to win. I'm not saying it's a must-win game, but 3 games and no wins for me, that's an awful start. It's an awful start as we speak here anyway. Two games gone, no wins, especially with the opposition we played. We haven't played Leicester and Southampton. We played Cardiff, and we've played Birmingham City away. That's not nowhere near good enough for me. So listen, we'll be back. I'll be back later today, and we'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about it. Listen, you know what, Dave? Let me end there. I'm not going to hang you out to dry. He says, "Sorry, lad," and you know what? That's accountability. I love that. You know, David there, he's seen the error of his ways, and he said, "You know what? Sorry." And you know what? That's beautiful. When you do something, when you do something silly or questionable, just say sorry. Take accountability for your actions. But you know what? And I'll give David his credit, because you know what? Some people double down on their silliness and go, "I don't care. You're an idiot." You know those people. So you know what, Dave? I accept, man, and it's all good. And my prediction, it's 2-1 at this moment in time, Jack. But you know what? When we come back later, looking at the teams, I'll give another prediction then. But 2-1 to West Brom at this point in time. So yeah, exactly. Respect, Dave. So listen, people, please hit a like on the video before you go. Smash a like, subscribe, and I'll see you later on for the actual football game. Please, Leeds United, we need something. Peace.